Titans Global. Let's go. Started with a vision, two voices in the mix. Max and Link together, building something that'll stick. Every episode we drop, yeah, we're reaching new heights. Titans Global on the map, burning bright every night. From the first recording session to the fans that tune in, we've been grinding every day, yeah, we're destined to win. Titans Global, that's the name, that's the brand, we the fans. Speaking truth through the microphone, messages that we send. Titans Global, that's the movement. Titans Global, feel the power. Titans Global, we keep pushing. Titans Global, this our hour. Titans Global, Max and Link. Titans stronger than you think. Titans Global, that's the way. Titans Global, every single day.
What's up, Titans fans, and welcome to another episode of Titans Global Podcast. I am your host, Maximus Titan Fan, and with me, as always, is my good buddy Link. What's up, bro?
What's going on? Fire everybody, sell the team, relocate, trade away everything.
No, hey, blasphemy.
Good to be here. Good to be here, though. Start out, prayers up to Tyreek Hill. I just saw that. If you are squeamish, I wouldn't recommend watching the replay, but that just happened. So I just wanted to mention that while we came on. But we have a lot of Titans to talk about. So like, subscribe, comment, share if you can. Most importantly, get in the comment section. A lot to talk about tonight. As it says, it looks like a long season ahead, and we're going to be with you every step of the way. And with that, we will get right into it.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. I was struggling with the title of this show. I was like, what am I going to call this after a review of a game like that? I don't even know where to start. So I was just like, buckle up, man. It's going to be a long season. Let's go. And yeah, that's really it. But let's jump right into it. We're going to talk mostly about this game. Obviously, there are themes to the show, and lately our theme has been our coaching sucks, and that's pretty much going to continue to be the theme. So until it changes. Let's start off with one of the things that really angered me early in the game was the Azeez Al-Shaair. I was so happy when he left our team because I didn't have to try to say his name anymore, but hands to the face, clearly on Cam Ward. Ridiculous that it wasn't called. Absolutely ridiculous. And the thing that really got me is that there's a whole different storyline that nobody else is talking about, and I don't know why. But anytime in the past I've ever seen a quarterback be hit like that or have something done like that to him, usually one of the offensive linemen will come unglued and unload on somebody. That's why I had so much mad love for Taylor Lewan, and will still have mad love for Taylor Lewan, because anytime he felt like they took too much of a shot at our quarterback or something like that, he would come up, hit him. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't have been upset if we got a personal foul after that, in response to that. I wouldn't be upset, because then at least it would have brought attention to the play that should have been called in the first damn place. The fact that it wasn't and completely missed, and I didn't see anything about Azeez Al-Shaair being fined for that.
Oh, he will be, I'm sure.
Absolutely ridiculous. Well, it should have happened Monday. I mean, yeah. I don't understand that. I don't get it. Yes, please find out and tell me if it did happen, because I looked for it earlier and did not see it. But that is the bigger story to me, is the fact that nobody came up, nobody on the field thought, hey, maybe I should go up and you can't touch my quarterback like that. Where is that mentality?
You don't have it.
Scary thing. Yeah,
you don't have it on this team. I mean, look, if you look at the offensive line across the board, I mean, I guess that guy would be J.C. Latham, but he's not out on the field. Skoronski, he's just not the type. I mean, he's played a hell of a season to this point, but he's not the type to get in somebody's face. I mean, Lloyd Cushenberry, I'm scared he'd get hurt trying to defend somebody. So, yeah, I mean, you just don't have those dudes, and it shows up on the field. So, I mean, yeah, you want to see guys stick up for their quarterback, and I agree with you. I think there should have been more done, even from a ref perspective. But yeah, I mean, that's just what happens when you're the Titans. That's kind of the way it works. You get the calls against you, you don't get the calls. That's the way it's been most of the season. And yeah, I mean, it sucks, but there's really not much more to say about it. You don't have like, if you look at this team, like what people call like the dogs, like Cam Ward, yeah, but he's young. He's a rookie, just played arguably his worst game. I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, it's hard to point to anybody else. Like even the dudes you would point to are the young rookies. I think Io Manor has that potential, but he's just not there yet. Ridley, he's not getting in anybody's face. I mean, even on the defensive side of the ball, maybe Jeffrey Simmons, but you just don't have the dudes on this team who want to get physical, who show that drive. Like that's one of the more frustrating things about this season is nobody's taken that step up to really have a leader mentality. So it kind of just is what it is at this point.
Yeah, and that was really for me the bigger storyline of what just happened. You know, it wasn't just the fact that Cam Ward got hit in the face and you know the refs didn't call it, because you know I'll be honest with you, rookies, you know, not getting penalties is not a normal thing in the NFL. I mean, it's not an abnormal thing. It's quite normal actually. I see people say all the time, "Oh, he's earned his penalty rights." The fuck does that mean? Earned his penalty rights. Sorry. By the way, this isn't a very good show for the kiddies. Probably should have put that little warning out there before started getting. But I'm gonna be I'm upset. I'll be honest, and that's the greatest thing about not being an analyst or a journalist. I mean, I am not someone who's employed by the team or the NFL in any way. I don't care what their status is or whatever. I don't care if I'm doing damage to the team, because they look like crap, and I don't want to support a team that looks like crap. I mean, I will. Obviously, I've supported them for 26 years now. Why am I going to change now? But the point is I just can't sit by having this outlet here to tell everybody that this is a bad job. And the thing that killed me is I'm a Twitter bug. I'm on Twitter because I really feel like that's the heartbeat of just about everything right now. But I'm on Twitter all the time, and I saw a lot of Cam Ward hate, and he did have a bad game. Let's be honest.
Probably his worst game.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a lot of passes that were off the mark. I even saw a couple plays where I saw wide open receivers that were supposed to be his first read, and he didn't even look at them. So, but at the same time, there's other things we're going to talk about tonight that's going to lead into that, like, you know, simple route concepts. I'll use that as a segue. Did you ever play NFL Blitz?
Yeah.
Do you remember that game?
Throwback.
Where you like body slam people and shit? That was one of my favorite football games. And if you remember from NFL Blitz, there's only like, 12, maybe 21 plays in the whole damn playbook on that game.
Yep.
That's what Brian Callahan's offense looks like. It looks like, I'm serious, it looks like the same rudimentary route concepts that I just don't understand it. I don't. And the play calling, people said it was going to get different, but it's not. It's the same conservative shit that we saw for the first 3 weeks of the season. I understand that they don't want to be crazy because, you know, he's still the head coach. But, dude, there's a reason that they took him away from the play calling duties. Don't let him influence your play calling at all.
Yeah, sorry, and again, I mean, I don't know. It's really hard to say at this point because, you know, my initial thoughts through the first at least 2 weeks maybe 3, it was the play calling. But now it's so frustrating because when you watch it from a bird's eye point of view, it really doesn't matter what the routes are. It's just that none of these receivers can find separation. And when they do, it's almost like Cam is hesitant to throw. So, like to the comment there, who cares? It's deeper than Cam. Like, yes, it is. But to that same effect, like this was the fear. And I mentioned this before we started the show. For everybody who was on the team trade back, who didn't want to take a first overall pick and use that on Cam Ward and wanted to gain as many picks as you could, this is why. Because now you've got a quarterback. And look, I like Cam. I think that he has potential to be a very good NFL quarterback, but you don't have a supporting cast around him. And now you're starting to see, at least this week, you started to see some of the regression. You started to see him second guessing himself. You're now seeing him roll out of the pocket when he doesn't necessarily have to. The first sign of pressure, he's immediately trying to bail out. And he doesn't have to on every play. Now, is the offensive line good? Absolutely not. They put him in terrible situations, but now he's putting himself in bad situations before the offensive line even breaks down. So this was the fear. You go get your number 1 overall pick, you go get your quarterback, but if you don't have the team around him that can elevate him and make him better, now you're talking about kind of wasting that. So I don't think we're to that point yet. I think Cam can continue to grow and learn, but this is why I preached it all offseason. Like the one thing I had to see from this coaching staff, because I was out on this coaching staff last year, but the one thing I had to see from this coaching staff was just continue to develop players. I didn't want to see regression, like the same way we saw with Will Levis. Will Levis was a better quarterback under Mike Vrabel than he was under Callahan. Now, I'm not putting that all on Callahan, and I'm not saying Mike Vrabel was the better coach because of that, but for whatever reason, we saw Will Levis take a huge step back when Callahan got here. My fear is now you start to see Cam take those steps back. That's what I don't want to see happen. So that's my biggest thing. I'm not out on Cam. Yes, he had a bad game. No, I don't want to see him leave. I still think he can find a lot of success. But for the whole trade back mentality, this was why. This was the fear. This is what I'm trying to prevent going forward.
Well, my answer to that would be Derrick Henry. That's where you saw the regression of Will Levis, is when he didn't have Derrick Henry and that amazing play action to play off of. Because I mean, let's be honest, man. When Derrick Henry's on the team, there's 8 or 9 men in the box, guaranteed, every play. So, I mean, It makes it a lot easier on a passer when you got that many people in a box. On the flip side of that coin, it's just as hard on a passer. It's even harder on a passer when you say you're rushing 4 guys, which, 4 guys against the Titans O-line is clearly going to get through because our O-line was awful. I think Moore had a PFF score of 42. Sko had 43. Uda had 23. Oh, my God.
But they passed but the thing is, they kind of passed the eye test. I know the grade is the grade, but I think some of that has to do with Cam's play. And I hate to say that, but where early in the season they were putting Cam in bad positions, I feel like this game Cam was putting them in bad positions. Not every play. I'm not saying they were perfect.
No, I agree with you.
But they held up a lot better this game than the previous 3.
I don't know that they did, though. And that's the thing. Well, and even if they did, you wouldn't know it because there were 7 guys blocking where there's normally 5.
True. Yep.
I mean, when you have 7 dudes blocking, you only got 3 other guys that can run routes to try to get you past where you are. So, I mean, and then if you're rushing 4 and getting in on the O-line, because our O-line was freaking terrible, you have 7 guys that can drop back into pass coverage. So now you've got 7 guys against 3. Who's open? I mean, I'll be honest with you, dude. Like I said before the show, when I watched the game yesterday, after the game, I was so angry. I was ranting and raving. I was so glad my family wasn't here to see that, but I was ranting and raving at nothing, screaming about how there was nothing good I could say about this game. It left me feeling awful. Dejected is the word I used, I think. I am dejected as a Titans fan.
Mm-hmm.
But after I slept on it, calmed myself down a little bit. I watched the highlights this morning. Then I watched, we'll say 45% of the game, at least 65% of the game, before I had to stop and ran out of time during the day. So, and what I saw in that time was something a little bit different. What I saw made me a little upset because, like I said, when you got 7 guys blocking, you can only have 3 running routes. And when you're running these rudimentary routes, it's just not leaving anybody open. You go back and watch the tape, more times than not. There are more than a couple, excuse me. There are probably 5 or 6 that I saw today that Cam Ward had somebody open early and could have taken the shot, and he ended up rolling out, just like you were saying, unnecessarily, because the line was actually good on that particular play. And he made some mistakes. And I agree that I think some of that is hot feet, happy feet, hot feet, whatever you want to call it. He's scared. Because, God bless, he's been sacked more than Will Levis has, which is just an insane thought. So I don't know. I'm not coming down on these players as hard as I was yesterday just because of the scheme that I saw when I look back on the tape. When I look back on the tape, when I know what I'm going to look at the end of I know we're not going to win. All the excitement's taken out of it. You're just analyzing it at that point.
But that's the issue. Like it's not you weren't really outplayed until the fourth quarter. I mean, this was 6-0 going into the fourth, which says a lot about the Texans too. Like this was not like the Texans came out and played this brilliant game and they were out coached and outmanned and out physical. Like that's the worst. This was probably one of the ugliest games of football I've ever watched from both sides. It was just kind of miserable. And for the Titans to put up 0 points on a Texans team that still is not playing up to the standard it expected, like it's just hard to watch, like you said. And I can't even say that I was mad. Like I'm just kind of numb to it at this point because you go in with these expectations by now. But it's just impossible to watch. Like it's miserable. It's absolutely miserable. Like, thank God they had I could do the dual screen this week. They had another game on Fox where you could kind of keep up with both games because like it was hard to watch. It was just they couldn't find ways to move the ball. And what's crazy is I think they got away from the run game a little too early. Now there were certain situations on 3rd and long where they're still running the ball for God knows why. But I felt like late into the third quarter, they went into panic mode and kind of got away from the run game when Pollard, I mean, he was doing a lot of the legwork, 4.6 average, 14 carries, 64 yards, had a long of 21. Like Pollard actually had a lot of success in this game. And in a 6-0 game, it's almost like they panicked. And I know this team's in desperation mode. This coaching staff is in desperation mode. Cam at this point feels like he's in desperation mode. But like I said, it's really hard to sit back and just watch them fail time after time again. And this, I think Scoob had mentioned pre-show, it was funny going back watching. I can't remember if it was Brinker or Borgonzi, but he was asked if they were going to win a Super Bowl or compete for a Super Bowl. And he was like, we're going to be competitive. But like, this isn't even competitive. Like, this is not competitive football. And I'm truly at the point, like, I hate to say this, but I look at the schedule, like, I don't know if they win a game this year. I don't, because even if you fire Callahan, then what? Like, where does that put you? That doesn't change your roster. It doesn't really change your play caller, because they had Hardigreaves calling it this game. Like, I don't know how they improve at this point. I mean, yes, Cam can continue to learn and the rookies can continue to learn and step up, but I just don't feel like this sounds cliche, but I don't feel like anybody's heart's in it at this point. And the dudes that are playing, the dudes that are putting up numbers, they feel like more of a trade piece than anything else, which sucks to say.
Yeah, and usually Louis our funny guy, which he has been funny tonight, but damn man, yeah. He'll be hitting us with and he's right though. People are already talking about the draft, which
I
is
mean,
crazy. I mean, it's absolutely insane. It's week 5. Well, it's week 4 technically. I guess next week is week 5, but still, I don't know. I will segue off into that though. I will segue all I can off of your comments. And I will go into the fact that, yes, we did have very good execution in the run game. It was very effective. We had a 4.2 average for the game. We had a 4.2 average for Tony Pollard. So, I mean, the run game was effective. Now, here's where I call the shit play calling part. Lowest play action rate of the season at 13.3%. And I even thought that yesterday when I was watching the game. I kept thinking to myself, why the hell don't they fake it on first down? I mean, if they're going to throw the pass anyway, why not fake, why not just act like you're going to give it to Tony Pollard? Because God knows we did that plenty throughout the early parts of the season. Mm-hmm. We did it enough yesterday. Why did they not feint that? Or at least think about doing that? This is what I'm talking about. And I don't know if it's Bo Hardigree being afraid to call his own plays, or if Brian Callahan is just going behind whoever and telling it. I don't know what the hell's going on. All I know is it was the same garbage we saw 3 weeks before.
Add in a flea flicker and a
oh my god
when you have zero offensive line. Like, I don't understand that. Like, you choose trick plays. It's the same offense, but you add in trick plays where, like, you have to have good protection. And again, I thought the offensive line played somewhat better, but not well enough to block on a flea flicker. That just I don't know, man.
There's one play. Go back and watch it. It's crazy. There's one play in particular where it shows the lack of preparation and the lack of execution on the player's part on the screen to Tony Pollard. I think it was in the second quarter. They throw him the screen. Dan Moore is still back on the offensive line blocking like it's a pass block when he should have let that guy go and went out to go. It's just, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous when you watch it. Go back and watch it. Watch any of these games.
It's like they don't even know half of these plays, and then you had Callahan say that Thursday was one of the best days of practice they've had. And, like, dude, you're just hurting yourself, because yeah, of course it looks good in practice when you know what's coming, and you know what to expect, and you know what plays are being called. But I just don't understand. It's everything they do, we look good every play they call, it's just wrong. Just everything they do, everything they say, every play call, it's just wrong on every single level. And again, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like a team can be this bad, can be this poor. But from preparation to receivers running the routes to defense getting off the field, it's just all bad. And I just don't think I've ever seen a season and a Titans team when it's been collectively this bad.
All right. And before I bring in the positive light that we were missing last week, I do want to hit on a subject that got under my skin more than anything else I had seen. And in that state that I was just describing to you, where I was screaming at no one in my house by myself, um, I see like 30 minutes later, I see an interview pop up from, I don't know if it was Kuharski or where it was from. Let me just go ahead and play the interview for you, and then we'll talk about what happens in the interview.
He gets you for 37 yards on the second and 33. Where do you come out on that?
That's the only play you've seen.
Well, I mean, that was a big one.
Next question.
What were the biggest miscues for you guys today defensively?
Oh man, we just need to keep going, make the plays that come to us. Know the situations.
Why do you feel like things are just not coming together for this team?
Oh man, it's just we have to make the plays that's out there on the field. It's our turn to make the plays. Coming out of halftime, after we come in and chill, I think we need to keep the same energy that we started with.
Coach said, I mean, guys make big statements during the week. They need to back them up. And he felt like you were doing that. You're not going to say anything about the one big play you got beat on?
Oh, yeah, it's all good. We all get beat. But as he get paid like I get paid, shout out to him. He's a great player.
You guys.
All right.
Well, you didn't know who he was. He's a great player. I just didn't know who he was.
Oh my God. Let's digest that for a second. Let's just take in what he said there for a second. First of all, he didn't even want to talk about the play that he got burnt on by saying, next question, is that the only play you saw? Okay, let's skate over that. Then he says, in response to Kuharski really backing his ass in a corner by saying, well, you talk shit throughout the week. Now, what do you have to say to this? And he was like, well, I mean, we all get beat. I get paid. He gets paid. Are you insulting us? I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like you had a crappy game, and because you can't play up to the standards of even yourself, first of all, you don't want to answer questions that might, look bad on you or whatever. And then second of all, you come back with, I get paid, he gets paid. Dude, let's not talk about your paycheck right now. You haven't earned shit as far as I'm concerned as a Titans fan. I'm sorry. Again, I told you the language was not going to be nice, and I apologize for that. And it just rode under my skin, especially after I made such a huge statement last week or Monday about us trading off Brownlee and why I thought, maybe that was okay because of the comments. I'm really holding a lot of curse words back, by the way. The comments that he made after the game, after not taking accountability, and here is one of our highest paid players who is supposed to be a veteran of the league that looks like, according to one of my followers that got me cracking up, a fucked up version of SpongeBob SquarePants, can't take a little bit of accountability and say, you're right. I talked a lot of crap and I wasn't able to back it up, and that's on me.
Mm-hmm.
No, he says, I get paid, he gets paid. Yeah, you get paid way too much, bruh. I'll be honest with you, dude. We could cut his ass tomorrow and I wouldn't be upset. Are you kidding me? We can get blown out without your ass. I've seen you. The 3rd and 25. We got him on 3rd and 25, son. Yep. All you got to do is keep them in front of you. And what the hell?
Yep.
Got burnt.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I've been very critical of Snead since he got here, and a lot of people have, and rightfully so. And this is why with the Brownlee thing, you can't tell me that it was a culture problem, because that's probably the biggest culture problem you have in the locker room. If you even have a culture
no more
at this point, because, and again, like, I feel like he's okay saying these things because no one else is holding him accountable. Not the coaching staff, not the other players. Nobody has control of this team. No one.
Yep.
No one. And I feel like Cam wants to be that guy, but he's young. and he hasn't earned it yet. He hasn't even won a game in the NFL. It's hard to be a vocal leader when you haven't even won your first game in the NFL yet. And then on the flip side, like Jeffrey Simmons, who you expect to be the leader of the defense, but I think he has maturity issues, if I'm being totally honest. And fair, he probably played one of his best games this weekend. He is a very talented player. He is one of the best players the Titans have on this roster when it comes to talent. But to me, he is not the mature leader that you want in the locker room yet. And part of that's because nobody's really held him accountable in his career, except maybe Mike Vrabel and that coaching staff. But no one has control of this locker room. No one has control of these players. And it just feels like anybody can say what they want and do what they want, and there's zero accountability. The only accountability I've seen to this point has been Cam Ward. And that's it, because he got up there and said, yeah, we ass. Like, and they are. And that's the most honest thing I've heard out of anyone on this team. But other than that, other than Cam, like I'll put it this way. There's not a lot of players that if they were traded tonight, I would be upset about it tomorrow. There's a handful of guys. There's a handful of guys on this team I would see like to be retained, and everybody else, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Peace. That's right, man. You got the right thought there, man. And by the way, Snead had a score of 43 by PFF, and I think that was great.
Generous.
Yeah. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
I mean, just to make me eat the crow. I mean, seriously.
But good thing you got rid of Brownlee.
Exactly. You know, why keep a young guy who talks shit when you can have an old veteran who talks shit that's constantly hurting on iron?
Who, by the way, because I did say this was going to be a big story when the Jets played, Jarvis Brownlee in the boot, he was inactive tonight. So that was not just a situation oh, I showed up, I'm hurt, I don't want to play. No, it was a legitimate injury. He was inactive for the Jets tonight. And that was big because I was the first to say, like, if he just shows up and all of a sudden he's ready to go for the Jets, but he's walking around in a boot in the Titans locker room, like, that's a red flag to me. But I didn't think he was the type of guy who was going to miss any time unless he absolutely had to, and he stood true to that. So, again, I really haven't heard a good reason why he was let go, but when you got idiots in the locker room like Snead saying things like that after talking crap all week and saying Nico, who, like, you can't tell me it's a culture thing with Brownlee. You absolutely can't. You can't tell me it's an attitude thing. And look, Snead's got court on November 1st, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, to tell me that Brownlee was anything other than just this organization wanting their dudes in and the old dudes out, like that's the only good reason I've heard.
Well, I thought about what you were saying, and I don't know. Anyway, the point is I thought about what you were saying, and I thought maybe, well, okay, since he did show up in the boot in New York, maybe what happened is he got hurt, like, overnight, partying or doing something stupid. And that's why the Titans, was like, all right, this is just another sign of your immaturity, and that's why we're going to get rid of you. I don't know. I don't know why I keep defending the front office of this team. Anyway, let's get to some more positive things. Let's get to the guy that I absolutely love having on the show. Not that I don't love having you on the show, Link. We all know. And all you, Louie. We love having you and Michael Newsom. Anyway, not that we don't love you guys, but we do love having Scoob on the show. And let's take that, 45-second break or whatever, and then we'll be back with Scoob. With Scoob, and vote. Damn it. It's the last day, so let's get it.
What's up, Titans fans? Maximus Titan fan here. Are you in need of professional excavation services? Look no further. Red Zone Builders has the expertise, experience, and equipment to handle all or any excavation project, big or small. Whether you need land clearing, site preparation, trenching, foundation excavation, or any other excavation services, they have you covered. Their team of skilled professionals will work diligently to ensure your project is completed safely, efficiently, and to your satisfaction. Trust the experts at Red Zone Builders to get the job done right.
What's up, everybody? How's it going, Max, Link, Titans fans? How's everybody doing tonight? I know the game was pretty miserable. It was tough to watch, like Link said. It's been tough to watch all year, but still gonna do it. It's just what I do. But I just want to talk about a little bit of how I think we got to where we are now. But real quick, over the years, I believe, man, I think our draft has just been so unlucky. Our free agency has been awful. The choices that we've made as an organization by applying so many band-aids on a boat that needs wood pegs. And now we're seeing what happens when we just keep slapping a band-aid on it. And so I think Borgonzi is trying to do the right thing and do it the right way. And just the look on his face, like when I was telling Link about the question they asked him, he knew what he was getting into. He told everybody at the beginning, this is going to be a team that he wants to compete. And I feel like for the most part, they have competed. They just don't have enough talent around the team to stay competitive, I think, in my opinion. And hopefully they can turn it around. A few years back, we were 3-13, and then the next year we went 9-7 with new coaches and better players and this and that. So hopefully Borgonzi can point us in the right direction. I feel like what he's done so far is the few bright spots on the team, and I like the direction he's going. It sucks that we're not winning. The guys are fighting hard, just things aren't going their way. Penalties have been crazy. I guess that's coaches. I don't know. Players just being undisciplined. I don't know if that's a coaching thing. It could be both. I don't know. But just for all that, tighten up, everybody. Be out there. Support the guys because they are out there playing hard. I'm going to be out there every week supporting the team. I'm going to be at the Busting with the Boys tailgate Sunday. So hope to see some of y'all. And this is our team, guys. This is our favorite team. This is my favorite team. I'm always going to support them regardless of the record. I'm always there. So love you guys. Love the Titans. And thanks for having me, Max. I appreciate you.
Don't act like it's gonna be your last show, Scoob.
No.
I'm gonna
the last
build.
show before you can vote. So get out there and vote.
Yeah,
for
this
fan
is the
of
last
year.
day to nominate.
Do it.
Nominate your favorite fan for sure.
Absolutely.
Take the time and nominate.
I'm gonna build a little bit on what you said there because I agree and I disagree. So I do agree that this is what happens when you're not able to draft well and you're not able to get good pickups in free agency, but I don't think it's luck. I think it's not being able to find the right talent. I think it's positions that people have been put in to be talent evaluators, to be draft specialists who probably shouldn't have been put there in the first place. And it's hard for me to blame previous people. But yeah, it all started, it feels like, with John Robinson, with the A.J. Brown trade and Isaiah Wilson. And I mean, if you look back, it is I don't know the exact number, but it's scary low if you look at the drafts from, say, 20 to 23, 24. Like, there's nobody left. There's nobody left. Like, it's very few and far between.
That's why I say it's bad luck.
Yes and no. It's
things happen,
you can.
Man. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Things happen, but the writing was on the wall with a lot of these draft picks that haven't panned out.
Yeah.
And then
they
even
took a lot of chances on guys.
They did.
Yeah.
And then you've got the one consistent, which to me is Chad Brinker, who, let's remember, was, and you probably know this better than I do, but if I'm not mistaken, he was a guy who was hired by Rand Carthon and then basically took Rand Carthon's job, and there was some stuff that it just seems really weird. it seems like I don't really know who's in control. And I think Borgonzi has done a good job, but my understanding is Brinker still has the last say. And I'm not sure what he's done to earn that because he hasn't been successful. So for Amy to put these people in these positions, whether it's John Robertson, whether it's Chad Brinker, it's all been a culmination that has led to this point. And it's been lack of being able to identify talent. It's been not being able to retain your draft picks. It's been losing guys that you probably should have kept and keeping guys you probably should have got rid of. And then you bring in a coaching staff and it's a new coaching staff, inexperienced play callers, guys who haven't really been put in positions to lead locker rooms before. So it's, to me, yes, you can look at the team and say there's a lack of talent. Yes, you can look at the coaching staff and say that they're fresh and they're still learning on the job. But all that comes back to the ownership. And I really hate to keep dogging on the ownership. And like you said, you're going to continue to show up and support this team. And absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody not to buy tickets and go watch this team. But on the flip side to that, like, you can't fire an owner. The only way you can change that, the only way you can enact change as a fan is to put your foot down and say enough is enough. And like me personally, it's hard for me to spend a dime on this team until I see something different. Until this ownership can make the changes that need to be made and get the right people in place to turn this into a successful organization, because you're building a new stadium right there on the Cumberland River, and you're expecting people to pay more for tickets. And they brag about this 70% retention rate from current PSLs. And like, that's all well and good, but your team sucks. And you're going to roll into a brand new stadium in 2027 and expect people to break out their wallets for a team that sucks. So it's hard for me to sit here and just be okay with that and to say I'm going to support them through thick and thin, because I do support them. I'm a Titans fan. I've always been a Titans fan. I will continue to be a Titans fan. But part of being a fan is wanting a good product on the field. And the only way you get through to ownership is to put your foot down and not give them any more money. And again, I'm not saying don't show up to games. I'm not saying don't buy tickets, but that's the only way you can enact change at an ownership level.
I mean, that ticket's still going to get sold. They're still making their money. I don't know, man. Like I said, I do want them to win. You know, it sucks going out there and watching them guys lose. And I go out there for the players, man, because they go out there and they bust their ass every day. And I want them to know that I'm out there supporting them. And I know a lot of the guys are struggling. They're working their butt off. They can't figure it out. And I just want them to know that I'm there for them. You know, the organization, yes, makes a lot of mistakes. Yes, Amy probably has made a few mistakes, and she's still, like you said, she's still learning too. She's only been the owner for 5 to 10 years now or so, you know. So she's still learning how to be an owner, I think. And I don't know, man. You know, it's crazy. It just sucks that we're losing. I've been through it before. We've had 3 and 13 years before, and then they turn around and get better. It's part of the roller coaster of the NFL. We're at the bottom right now, and we're going to go back up just like every other team. It's just, you just got to stick through it, you know. That's all.
I agree with that to an extent, but this feels
bad.
like an all-time low for this organization.
It
Well,
is.
It really
I don't
does.
know,
And
man.
I know they've had bad seasons. I know they've struggled before. But like, if you
3 and
just
25
look at
was
it,
pretty bad.
if you look at it as a whole, and you go back over the last 4 to 5 years with the drafts and the free agency signings, and then where they are now, this feels like, because you don't want to be a window team. You don't want to be a window team. You want to consistently come out and compete year after year and compete for playoffs. But I don't know. Like, I'm not seeing any moves being made in the right direction. And that's the most frustrating thing to me, is because you go get your number 1 overall quarterback. You expect him to be the future of the franchise, but you do that at the expense of the rest of the team. And when you don't have leadership, when you don't have a veteran presence, when you don't have these guys you drafted 3 years ago in the locker room who have been here and play for the right reasons and try to be that voice, this is what you get. And it's just it's going to be hard for these rookies to grow up in this type of environment and have any success. And
They
that's the
gotta
most
create their own
frustrating thing to
environment.
me.
You know what I'm saying? They gotta.
Yeah,
gotta
they
create
do. But
something.
when
It's-
you
it's
but
up
when
to
you
the
have
rookies
veterans,
and
but when you have veterans in the locker room like L'Jarius Sneed, who feels like they can get away with this type of stuff, and then you have the
Yeah.
rookies watching that, like it's hard for them to speak up and say anything because guess what? L'Jarius Sneed has Super Bowl rings. Whether he's a good person, a good player, whatever, he was at Kansas City and was a very good player on a very successful roster. So, but you
And
bring
there
that
again, the
in.
bad luck.
I-
He hasn't been a good player on our team. That's the
I
bad luck
guess.
part about it. It's
Ta-
I know
talent
it's more than that, but
evaluation,
to me,
but-
it's just
It's-
bad luck.
It's
Every
talent
time.
evaluation and it's
Clowning.
character evaluation.
Bad luck.
But
Antonio
again,
Brown,
that's
bad
another
luck.
character issue.
Randy Moss,
I agree.
bad luck.
Another
I mean,
character
come on,
issue.
just
It's
I don't-
over and over and over again.
I don't think it's so much luck as it is, like I said, it's hard to bring someone to Nashville. It's not that Nashville is not a good place to be. It's just a hard sell.
I mean,
to
even when we
someone
were
in
winning,
free
it
agency.
was still
Well,
the same.
There's only two reasons you're in free agency. There's only two reasons you leave the current team.
You're
you're with.
old,
And
or
that's
you're
if you
hurt.
think, well, that's if you think you can get a big payday, or you can think that maybe this team can win a championship ring.
Right.
And there has been very few years where we've been able to pull people and say, hey, we've got a real shot at being a contender here. So I think that's the main thing. But I'm going to try to steer this back towards a continuative line of not just that, our play calling and our coaches suck, because that is the blind truth of it. But anyway, Tyler Lockett has been a kind of a sore spot. You brought it up, actually, Scoob. You brought it up in the preseason
Yeah.
that you were hoping that Tyler Lockett would be cut.
Nothing
basically,
against
because
him,
the
I
young
just,
guys were so much better. Yeah, no, I get
Yeah.
it. I get it. And I'll be honest with you, I've been kind of waiting
Everybody
for
was
him to be
against me.
passed up, because every week I see that the numbers are worse and worse and worse, and I'm like, well, when is the time when we, move from Tyler Lockett to someone else? And I don't know when that is, if it's not this week, because he had 72% of the snaps. 72%. You know how many balls he caught?
2,
Zero
0. Oh, I thought he had
Zero.
one catch at least.
on 4 targets. So he had 72% of the snaps. Only on 4 of those snaps did Cam Ward think, I can get this ball to the guy. And on none of those snaps did the guy catch it.
I was
Whether-
shunned, Max. I was shunned.
I'm just saying, there's one where it's like clear. I mean, it goes right into his body, and it's one of those things that I used to harp on my young receivers about, which is don't let the ball go into your body. Catch it with your hands, not your body. And he literally let it go into his body, bounced right off his chest, and went out. Which is just, that's such a young thing to get over as a receiver, to see that still now. I just, and I don't know if it's because he's old and he's just trying to make more plays or what's going on, but the way I see it is we've got a bunch of guys that are having trouble catching balls from Cam Ward, whether they're behind, whether they got too much heat on them, doesn't matter. They're having issues catching balls. And I know
even
one
the
guy,
Islander drop where it got picked, that was kind of behind him. He should have caught it. It was a little
I know
hot, and it was
one
a little
guy
behind him, but
that we have access to that has
Yeah.
no problem catching balls from Cam Ward. As a matter of fact, he was the leading receiver at Miami. And I know everybody says, well, it's because he sucks. Well, is it because he sucks, or is it because our talent evaluators suck? Because I'll be honest with you, Scoob, you call it luck, I call it talent evaluation, and our talent evaluators have never been good. So as far as trusting the people who are in place to make the right decisions, to hell with that. I think personally, from what I've seen in the first quarter of this season, Tyler Lockett needs to be set, Restrepo needs to be called up, and let's see how he does in a game.
heck,
Yeah, I
even
mean,
bring
there's-
up Mason. Mason's always there.
For God's sake.
I mean, there's a lot of ways to always look at it, because there have been very talented teams that haven't found success because they can't
Right.
mesh well. And then there's been teams like the Mike Vrabel injury season, where you've just got some dude's cousin out there and they find a way to win games. So there's multiple ways to look at it. Yes, I feel like you have talent on this roster, but you haven't seen them mesh well. You haven't seen them play together. And that's the biggest thing is, again, who is the voice? Who is the leader? Who's going to bring a unit together and put the right plays together? And you just haven't seen any cohesion from this unit. And this goes back to last year. Like, even though you have some of the right dudes out there, they just haven't found their – I don't even know the word I'm looking for. They haven't found their consistency, their vibe. Yeah, there's
They
not
don't
one
have their
person.
feng shui.
Yeah, there's not one person that I feel like Cam can trust, who he can just put a ball up and say, go get it. If there is that dude, it's Iomanner. But it shouldn't be Iomanner. It shouldn't be him, because he's a rookie. So, yes, that's a good sign for the future, but there's just nobody right now that anybody else can trust, even on the offensive line. Like the right tackle can't trust the right guard to make the right play. Same way on the left side. It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
We got different guys in different spots every week on the line because of injuries and whatever else. Poor play.
Partially because of injuries, but partially because they just move things around, because I guess they feel like that's what they have to do. Like, we've seen this back and forth with Udo, and like I've talked about that before. I don't agree with that, because you never give a guy a chance to find that cohesion with the dude next to him.
Yeah,
and we
it's
said
the
it
same
at the
thing.
beginning of the year. We are on a paper thin. If we have any injuries,
absolutely,
we're screwed.
We're screwed.
You had nobody else in the secondary, and then you go trade away a 5th-round pick. But I mean, it's so yes, it's lack of talent and experience, but it's also like it can be multiple things. This is just a culmination of everything going wrong. This is bad coaching. It's bad roster management. It's bad luck with the injuries. It's just a culmination of all of it. And it's hard to point to what, and that's why, like, do I think Callahan should probably be fired? Yes. But you don't become a better team because of that. Like, it's still the same system. It's still the same roster. Like, I don't know that it's not going to turn your season around. And let's be honest, like, who the hell wants this job? You think Mike McCarthy's sitting at home saying that's the next team I want to coach?
Well, I can't wait to get to the Titans.
You think Cliff Kingsbury is over there with Jaden Daniels thinking he wants to come to the Titans? Like, there's like, this isn't a lucrative job. Like, you can throw money at him, sure, but
I mean,
you're not going to have the pick of the litter here.
All right,
it's a head coaching job in the NFL.
Let's try to, well, yeah, there's always takers, but God, that doesn't mean you want them. But let's try to steer some positivity in there, because like I said, yesterday when I got, all right, buddy, I love you. This is Walter, by the way. I know a couple of you noticed, but yeah, star of the show. Anyway, couple positive things after I watched the tape that I did notice. One, before I watched the tape, I did like the way that a lot of people criticized him, but the way that he came out, even dropped an F-bomb in the middle of the interview. Cam Ward come out fired up, talking about we all got to play better, me included. And this is the accountability I'm talking about.
Right.
That's accountability, taking it. Even when it isn't yours to take, he still takes it. That's right. Walter's the man. But he still takes the accountability, comes up, says, we dropped the fucking quarter of our football games already. You know, guys got to play better. I got to play better, whether it's giving them a better ball, whether they should, you know, there was so many good things he said in that interview. And he has said a lot of good things in interviews, and that's mostly why I think I like him. But I just, anyway, let's move on from that, because that can become negative. Let's talk about Big Jeff, because I've actually criticized Big Jeff this year.
Oh crap! This can't
he's
become
playing
negative.
his ass off, man. He's playing his ass off.
I got to give him some love, dude. he had 5 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. The last time that happened was 2008, by the way, and a sack. And the sack was 2.09 seconds, which had a 0.32 seconds off the line, which is
blew
the
the line
fastest
up.
by. Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. I don't know if it was a blown play by the Texans or if it was just an amazing play by Jeffrey Simmons, but seeing as how it only happened once.
He took advantage of a weakness.
Exactly. I'm going to say
Yeah.
it was a little bit of both. Both things can be true. So I'm going to give a huge shout out here, but Big Jeff, man, I can't wait till we get Sweat back and we actually have some more interior pressure because we're sure as hell not getting it from the edges. But Big Jeff, thank you, Big Jeff.
Yeah,
Yes.
this was a positive.
Roger
I think he's
McCreary
playing-
again was a great game.
Yeah, it was. I think Jeff is playing some of his best football of his career right now. And that's a great thing. If somebody calls me with a second, I mean, at this point, and I hate that because he's probably the most talented player you have on this roster right now. But I don't know that. And look, if you're a fan of Big Jeff, like he wants to win. He wants to win a championship. I don't know that you're even re-signing him when the time comes. I don't know if, I don't know what his decision is. Obviously, he's tight with Amy. She took a chance on him in the draft, but like, I don't know. I don't know how this one ends, but it almost feels like, because right now it seems like he's playing for himself more than anything else. And I'm okay with that because at this point, what else is there? Everybody out there has to play for themselves at this point because you're not winning football games. But I'm just saying, I'm open to the idea. If it were to happen, when I told you there was a handful of guys that I'm definitely all in on retaining and I don't want to see them go, I hate to say it, but Jeff's not on that list. And that's not because of talent. That's not because, again, I think he's the most talented player on this football team. But this isn't the right – you don't need a Big Jeff right now. You need a lot more than just a Big Jeff. And you've got T'Vondre Sweat on a rookie contract, and I think there's a lot of potential there. He is one of those handful of guys, you get what I'm trying to say. He's on my list. I don't want to see T'Vondre Sweat go, but I'm not going to lose sleep if Jeffrey Simmons is traded tomorrow. I'll put it that way.
Oh man, I might.
I was gonna say I like Big Jeff. I've always liked Big Jeff. I've got a soft spot.
I don't want to lose Big Jeff.
I don't want to lose him.
He's one of my favorites, but I understand where you're coming from, Link. I really do, because we do need to get as many assets as we can this offseason and try to rebuild what we've got, because clearly what we've got's not working.
If you've got a second and third on the table, as a Titans organization right now, you need a second and a third, or even a second and a fourth. You need that more than you need Jeff right now at this point.
As long as it's not the Patriots.
If you were competing for the playoffs, you want a guy like Big Jeff on your team. When you're in a rebuild like the Titans, and I mean this is rebuild by definition.
Yeah.
We're at the bottom of the well, bro.
You need that pick more than you need Big Jeff at this point. And look, there's a good possibility that when the time comes, you're going to lose him anyway. So if I can recoup a couple draft picks right now, why not? I mean, Big Jeff ain't winning you football games. Nobody on this team is winning you football games. I feel like everybody on this roster, aside from the rookies and a handful of guys, they're going to get shopped before the deadline.
Oh, absolutely. And just a couple more things I want to get in, because we are starting to get over time. I don't really care about time, but I try to keep it somewhat structured. But anyway,
Mr. 17.
I can't help. I was going to say I cannot help but bring up the tackle leader. I just can't help it. It's something inside me, and maybe it's because I was a linebacker when I played a linebacker running back. But
man,
he
was like a
Cedric
pinball
Gray,
out
dude.
there, bro.
Oh my God, dude! Played on fire, man. Not only 17 tackles,
I mean,
17.
he was a pinball, bro. Just
Most
everywhere.
people don't get that in 3 games, dude. This guy just busted up 17 tackles in 1 game. Now, does that say that he is an amazing linebacker, or does it say that the rest of our team is shit at tackling? Both can be true. So we'll go with that. He also had a pressure and a tackle for loss. He had a PFF score of 90.2, the highest on our defense. He was 94% of our defensive snaps and 36% of our special team snaps, which again is another factor of pointing to mismanagement. Why the hell do you have your starting linebacker playing special teams? It doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, just wanted to say Cedric Gray had a great fucking game and played amazing, and I have to bring that up.
For sure. One of the bright spots.
Definitely. And I'll have to say, I throw this in there at the end, but Johnny Hekker has been consistently good for us. He's been a consistently good punter. In this game, he showed a 50-yard average on 5 punts, had 213 yards overall. So Johnny Hekker, as shitty as an preseason as he had, and I'll be honest, going into the season, this was one of my big worry warts because of the preseason performance. But so far during the season, I have to say he's been pretty damn good. I hate to say it now, though, because maybe next week he'll suck. So I don't know. You know how it goes. You don't want to curse him.
Yeah, Joey Slough was a bright spot till he wasn't. But no, I mean, I think if you're looking at bright spots, it's been special teams has continuously been an improvement. So that's definitely there. Yes, Cedric Gray has been a bright spot. Fewer penalties this week. If you can take something good away from this game, I guess that's one of them. But yeah, still a lot of things to clean up. It doesn't get any easier. It doesn't. I mean, if you look at the schedule, that was your opportunity at a get right game on the road.
Arizona, baby, we can beat them.
We'll talk about it Thursday. Join us Thursday. Good segue.
That's right.
Yeah, join us Thursday. We'll preview the Cardinals. But yeah, it doesn't get any easier. So you got the Cardinals, you got the Raiders, and then look, I don't know what this team looks like when Mike Vrabel and the Patriots roll into town, but you better get it together before that happens.
Plus, that's the homecoming game too.
Man, they better get it together, dude. Because
if you don't win one game all season, if you're gonna win one game all season, it's got to be that one. It's got to be that one. But we got time. And we'll see y'all before then. But one game at a time. One game at a time.
Absolutely. And a couple things to wrap up the show. Again, if you haven't voted or you don't, whatever, get on, vote for Scoob, fan of the year, or your favorite fan of the year, whatever. But we want you to vote for Scoob because he's freaking awesome, man. And not only that, like I said before, honestly, I can't think of a better person, humanitarian, Titans fan, any of those things you want to stick on the end of that. I can't think of a better nominee than my man Scoob here. And honestly, I only met this guy, we've been knowing each other about 1.5 years now, something like that.
2 years.
Okay, yeah, we'll say 2 years.
It's been 2 football seasons.
You might be right on that. Yeah, it might be. Anyway, my point is the
maybe I should stop talking after.
Guy, he honestly is one of the best human beings I know. Beyond just being a great Titans fan and a great person to be around and talk, he does a lot of charity work and stuff like that. And you got to give it up for guys that do stuff like that, especially a dude that's got his own business and is as busy as you are. Again, as Wayne's World
Titans
used to
together,
say, we're not worthy.
We got to stick together.
There you go. But other than that, if you're with us still and you've stuck with us through the whole show, thank you so much. We appreciate you. If it's your first time, get on there, like, share, subscribe, talk to your buddies, whatever, man. We're good.
You
we
better
don't
be
do
following
this for any money. We don't do this for any money. We just do it for the kicks. And we all love talking about football and Titans, even when they suck. So
tighten up.
That's right. And until next time, tighten up.
Tighten up.
Peace out.
Peace out.